Alright, in this tutorial we're going to create a practice map in RPG Maker. So the first thing we need to do is open up the program. To do that, you can either see it either on the desktop, or if you don't see it on the desktop, then you can go to your Windows button and All Programs, and it will be under RPG Maker VX Ace, and you'll open it up right here. When it opens up, it goes to this blue screen. We actually have to go to File and New Project, and we're just going to name it Practice Map. Okay, this is the location where it's going to save, which it will create a folder inside your documents. Okay, so when we do that, it opens up. Now we're going to create basically an inside room, and I'll show you that here in a second why. Okay, this kind of gives you an overview of what your map's going to look like. These things here are called tile sets. Basically anything you see here you can put into your map. This gives you, I like to be on a 1-to-1. When the map's a little bit smaller, you can see that it gives you, basically this is the scale, displays it. So if you have a huge map, you know, you might, to see the entire map, you might want to be in 1/8 scale, but we have kind of a smaller map. So these tile sets basically kind of give you the world view. We actually want to switch this around because we want to create an interior map. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down where it says map 001, and we're going to right click. So I right clicked, which brings open this menu, and I'm going to go to map properties. When I go to map properties, I'm just going to name this inside room. Okay, and then where it says tile set, it says 001 field. Well, we can either do exterior, which is outside, or interior, or dungeon. Well, we're going to go to interior. Okay, and this allows you to change. So let's change this to a 20 by 20. 17 by 30 is the default. We're going to leave everything else exactly the same. And you see that it basically makes your map a little bit bigger. Now, they already put in kind of a background, this checkered part here. If you played your game, it would look blank or black. So we'll have to fill that in. But you can see my tile sets changed here, and I also have these tabs right here. And we're going to start on the A tab. The A tab allows you to put in kind of flooring, okay, anything that you can walk on. So you see these squares here? Well, I'm actually in the wrong mode. I'm in, if you look at it here, I'm in event mode. We don't want to be in event mode. We actually want to be in map mode. Okay, so you can either click here or you can press F5 on your keyboard and it will do the same thing. Now you can see that I have the pencil, so it says draw tiles freehand. So let's say I wanted to put in an interior that looked like this. Let me see. Wanted to put in an interior that looked like this. Now I can either click and drag and it will do this, or if I wanted the quick way to do it, this is called a flood fill, so I can click on this once and it'll put this in all at one time. Okay, so this would kind of be the flooring. Okay, if we click on B, okay, B is going to allow you to put things on top of your flooring. Okay, and then C is going to allow you to put things that can set on top of B. Okay, if that makes sense. So I'm going to just put in an interior. This doesn't have to be too detailed right now, and I'm going to put in, well, if I click here, now you're going to see if I click on flood fill, it's going to do the entire thing, which you don't want to do. The good thing is there's an edit undo button right here, so I can undo any mistake that I make. I have to go back to the pencil. So let's say I put in just a couple cases here, maybe one in the middle, and I put in, so I'm clicking and dragging. If I just click this part of it here, it's just going to put that part of it in there, which won't look right. So you have to click and drag the entire part. So I have a bed here, and maybe I put in a little nightstand on each side, and I put a fireplace out here. Now I've been asked, can I rotate these things? Unfortunately, you cannot rotate anything in this program. So the way that you see it here is the way that it's going to go in. Let me see. Say I want some curtains. So it just provides, you know, a little bit of privacy. And let me see. just put a couple in. Now we're just going real quick on this. You saw I made a mistake here. So I'm just going through real quick, putting things in. Now you can see that, I don't know if we have chairs in this one or not. So if we go to C, let's see if this is going to work. Oh, that's floating in the sky. Let's see if we can put it right on top. Nope, that takes the place of it. Sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. I'm actually going to put one of these guys in too. So I'm just kind of filling the room, and it doesn't have to be perfect right now. Okay, but we're just kind of putting things in. So it's kind of scattered. I'm going to go back to A, and maybe I can put in the top. Let me see if I can find something like that. So I can just create, almost looks like a wall right there. Oops, so I made a mistake there, so I'm going to go to undo. So I almost make an entrance. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect. If I was going to be really picky about this, I would have put these walls in first and I would have moved this stuff down. But you know what? This is just a practice map, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay? Great. So we have an interior. Does it look great? Not really. Okay? What we're really worried about is just being able to use some of these features. The cool thing, what we're going to do next is we're going to create a second map. So if you go up where it says practice map right here and right click, we're going to load a new sample map. So you can see that there are a lot of sample maps here, and I'm just going to pick one, and it doesn't really matter. Within your final game, you can use 4 sample maps. Okay, so I'm going to find one that's kind of an exterior. So an exterior map, and I might find this town map. So I'm gonna take this one. So this is the desert town map, and I'm gonna press OK. Now you saw that I came up to where it said practice map here and right clicked, and you'll see why here in a second. It puts it directly underneath. Now if I did the same thing from right here, and I went to load sample map, and let's say I went to Mountain Village, you're gonna see that it actually creates it off of this. But watch what happens if I find out that I want to get rid of this map. I delete it. It actually deletes the map underneath it too. Whereas if I load a sample map from here, I go to Mountain Village, and then I create load another sample map. Oops. I'm going to get rid of that one. I create a second one. But I want to, my third map, I still want to create it, from right here. Okay, because then it goes straight down. Because watch, if I get rid of my mountain village here, it still leaves in the desert, the Devil's Castle. Okay, which is what I want. Because you don't want to have everything connected and you get rid of one map and it deletes 10 of your other maps. That'll be devastating. So I have a map here. Now if you look, if I click on the half, it's easier to see. So I have an inside room. Okay, so we're gonna create our first little transfer. Now this is just a graphic. There's nothing inside this castle. We just create the illusion of going inside. Well, how do you do that? Well, it's pretty easy. We're gonna click back over to Event, and you'll see that you have all these little squares here. So here's the cool thing. We're gonna basically right click. We're gonna right click where you want this transfer to take place, and when you do that, there's a quick event creation, and you're going to go to transfer. Now this is basically where you are right now. Okay, so we need to go over and we need to tell basically where our destination is going to end. So if I click right here, it opens up this map right here, and we just go to inside room and we double click, and that basically will show, and you can see that there's a little square here which shows that you have a transfer here, or you have an event here. Now you can right click on this and go to edit event, and you can see that you have a transfer player right here. Okay, So we're going to make sure that this works right now. Okay, so I'm going to click on playtest. And when I go into play, you can see that it goes to new game. And you saw that I can't move. You know why? I'm going to press escape. And I'm going to go down to end game. And to shut down. Because my main player is actually right here. He's right here. So you know what? I'm going to actually cut him. And I'm going to put him into, and I'm going to right click again, and I'm going to paste him in. And you can see that this is where my main player is. Now you can do that one of two ways. You can either cut and paste them, or you can go to right click and go to set a starting position and player, and you can see it starts up right there. Now I'm going to, I don't want to be in full screen right now. So you saw I took it out of full screen by doing Alt and Enter. Alt and Enter takes you from full screen down to a minimized screen. And that is very loud, so I'm going to turn that down a little bit. But click back on here. I'm going to give this a try. So we're going to go in, and you saw that I'm in. Now, did I actually go in there? No, I just basically used that transfer. Now I want to be able to get back out, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to transfer, click here. I'm going to go back to the outside, and I'm going to double click here and press OK. Now I want to make sure I'm going to copy and actually paste these. So anytime they touch any one of these, they're going to transfer, because once you copy an event, you can paste it. So we're going to give it one more try. And I'm going to go up. And you can see that I can get back out too, which is really important. Okay, so for the next couple minutes, I just want you to kind of mess around with some of the map making properties. If you want to load some other sample maps, do that. Please make sure and look at all the sample maps, because when we do our storyboarding, you're going to need to use those. Okay, so you want to have a little idea of what your sample maps are.